Hi, NiXiE here. Today I just want to talk about a really interesting topic, particularly to semi-beginner artists such as myself, who is wondering if they are ready to start taking commissions. I'm definitely not an expert when it comes to this, but I have spoken with people who have done it before, professionals and non-professionals, and I thought I'd share what I learned. Hopefully, you'll get an idea if you are wondering about this. And hopefully, you'll come to a decision whether you're ready or not. Or just realize you're not ever gonna do this and just hope that people will buy your artworks that you yourself loves. For me, there are 4 things you really need to consider first. 1 is skills. 2, materials. 3, price or payment, and 4, responsibility. Let's talk about skills first. Ask yourself, are you skilled enough to sell your soul? I mean your art. You'll have your answer if you pretend to be a customer. Then look at your artworks as if you didn't make them. Are your paintings good enough that you'd want to buy it? If yes, then your next step is number 2, materials. If not, then you probably shouldn't. This is not to say that your artworks are horrendous. In fact, you're probably very good at it. But if you don't have confidence to say yes to your own artworks, you'll definitely have a difficult time with the commissions. You might even be discouraged way too easily. You really do need confidence with your own work. I know it's easier said than done, but trust me, it took me years too, and I had to turn down a few offers just because I'm that insecure about my skills. And you might want to ask people too if your skill is worth it. Ask them to be honest and do not get offended. Unless you know they're just downright hating. And what do we do with haters? That's right, we feed them to the tigers. Just ignore them. Trust me, they'll go crazy if they realize you're not affected. Anyway, ask your friends and tell them to be honest. Ask professionals. That's definitely what I did so that I'll have like an idea if my skills are enough. If they said yes, truthfully and not just saying it because they're biased, then yes it is. Number 1 is done. You are skilled enough. But number 2, do you have the right materials? Obviously, this is not really a big factor for digital artists because the materials are, well, digital. Basically, a running PC and a good pen tab. Unless you're going to print your own artworks and ship it to people. So that's another investment for good printer and type of paper. But we're not gonna get into that because I don't specialize in digital, and this is not to say in any way that digital is less than traditional art. Digital art is magical on its own, as well as traditional. If you're a traditional artist, such as myself, you want to consider the quality of your materials. Are they light fast? Are they of quality? Are the papers thick enough? Do the paints fade over time? Are they chalky? Things like that. You'd want your materials to be professional grade, or at least close to it. You want your customers to be satisfied when they receive your paintings. Make them feel like it was worth more than what they paid for. You don't want to give them a painting that is too warped or the paint's stains. Just make it professional. Even if you're not really a professional, at least keep it professional, if that makes sense. Number 3, price or payment. And honestly, this is the most difficult part for me. How do I price my artwork? This one was so hard to decide, mentally and spiritually, for me. You don't want to overprice, but you also don't want to underprice. But how do you know when you're overpricing or underpricing? Honestly, what helped to figure this out is, I don't know if you figured this already, but I have asked people about it. Specifically, people who is doing commissions already. I've asked professionals and non-professionals. And basically, they told me to rate yourself per hour. How long will it take you to finish a painting? It is just like when you're working a 9 to 5. You're being paid for your time and skills, plus materials. That's why number 1 and 2 falls within number 3. I just want to share you what my friend told me about pricing your artwork. She is a professional and has done a lot of commissions already. Her mentor told her to never undersell yourself. Don't think about low price means more customer, because pricing your artwork low gives it an impression as if they're low quality when they're not. So just keep that in mind. It makes it appear as if your artworks are cheap and low quality when you know they're not. Unless you can downgrade your skills and is happy to be doing that, or make a masterpiece and then selling it for $30. It's really up to you. It's really hard to know what your artwork is worth. It took me a year to figure out, and in the process my skills to develop. So it kind of helped with the confidence. So just don't undersell with the mindset of the cheaper, the better, the more customer, because it really isn't it. If a person really likes your art, they'll pay for it, even if you think you're overpricing. Oh yeah, and don't overprice too when you know your skills is not that good. Man, it feels like I'm calling people out. It's just that pricing is such a difficult topic for me. I don't feel comfortable talking about money in general. Just, yeah, rate yourself per hour. And when it comes to payment, please, payments needs to be upfront. It has to be. You don't want to waste your time, energy, and materials to these artworks, then all of a sudden your customer is nowhere to be found, had change of plans midway, realizes they don't have money to pay you. Ouch. Payment up front. Number 4. This is the most important one, ladies and gents. Responsibility. Commissions involve money, and you'd really want to work more than what you're being paid for. Why? Because it will make your customers love you. It'll make them feel like you care for them. Do not procrastinate. It's hard not to, but don't. If you set a date, make sure you'll finish it days before that. Unless something happened that is out of your hand, then maybe your customer will understand. But if it's overdue simply because you got lazy, that is not professional. If you want to have a career in art, then treat it as a career or as a job. Make sure that you'll commit. A lot of times artists get lazy when doing commissions. I know it's because you're making something that doesn't really please you but pleases your customer. But they paid you Commissions can be soul crushing, creativity killer, but it's a job you entered. So might as well get it over with before you take a break from creating artworks for other people. I mean, unless you're one of those famous artists that takes commissions and make their customers wait for over a year because all of the busyness and they're willing to wait that long. It's cool. But if you are, then you're most likely not gonna watch this. Always make sure that your customer is satisfied while you're making the artwork. Give them update every now and then. You're lucky if your customers are not too keen with every single detail and just wants you to do your thing. Also make sure to let them know what you can and cannot do, so they have an idea and you don't get shocked when they ask you to draw a furry mecha vor with realistic background, unless that's your thing. And that's all really. I hope this helped you even just a little bit. Again, I'm not an expert when it comes to this, but I really suggest that you get a professional's advice, really. And with that being said, watercolor commissions are open. Check out my Instagram and Twitter for details, both linked in the descriptions. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you on my next one, and bye! Okay, I still got 20 seconds to talk about random stuff, and I really feel like I'm saying unintelligible things to you right now, and I really want to delete all of the voiceovers, but I'll probably still keep it. Is it just me, or do you feel the same way?